everyone, Voodoo here, and today I want to talk about some tuning that Havoc got. Now I'm a little late on this. The tuning came out, well, it was announced about a week ago now by the time you're seeing this video. It was applied to the game on Tuesday. I'm recording this on the Monday, so it actually hasn't happened yet, but that's not really going to matter because today I want to talk about the tuning and if it actually makes Aldrachi Reaver playable. It doesn't. So I'm going to tell you why it doesn't. But before we do that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Help grow the channel. We're so close to 12,000 subs, which would be really sick to get. And let's get on to it. So first things first, what are the changes? Well, the big changes and the only changes are these three things here. Vengeance is also getting some tankiness increases, which is like pretty nice, but not really the point of this video. For Havoc, it's all Aldrachi Reaver buffs, which makes sense because I think right now the usage rate of Aldrachi Reaver, at least in raids, is like 0%. The only reason you'd ever really use it is like pushing really high keys right now if you need to live stuff because it's just better defensively, but like it's just not fun. Its damage profile is bad and it's just not really being played. So how are we going to fix that? Well, we're going to buff it. So 3 buffs: Wounded Quarry damage increased by 100%, Warblade's Hunger damage increased by 100%, and Reaver's Glaive damage increased by 15%. Now these two things here are very minor. Wounded Quarry is the extra proc you get from your auto attacks whenever you auto attack a target with Reaver's Mark on them. It's pretty small overall. We can look at sims and stuff after, but it's not a large chunk. Same with Warblade's Hunger. Warblade's Hunger is the damage bonus to Chaos Strike after you consume a soul fragment. Again, that's really minor. Reaver's Glaive is actually pretty significant because not only does this buff Reaver's Glaive, which alone I think was doing like 5%, it also buffs Soul Scar, which I think was doing roughly like 6% or so of your damage. So this is actually a pretty sizable increase to 2 large damage chunks, and overall it's roughly a 4% increase in damage. So those are the changes. Let's look at some sims. So this is the sim beforehand. So as we can see here, Reaver's Glaive alone accounts for roughly like 11% of your damage, 5 and 6.7, so actually 11.5 more likely. So that's actually a pretty big buff if you're doing like 15%. 15% of 11 is a little bit more than 1.5% overall, which is a pretty nice buff there to that. Now the other stuff isn't that big of a deal. Wounded Quarry is only 1.4%. And I'm pretty sure there's currently a bug with Warblade's Hunger that doesn't cause it to work properly, but in Sims it's 1.2%. So that's doubling. So that's going to 2.4 is going to 2.8. So altogether, pretty sizable buff. It's like a 4% buff. And the thing with that is that Oppenheimer, which is the best Aldrachi Reaver build, this is the breakdown for it if people want to know. I might do a guide on it. I don't know. If you want to see an Aldrachi Reaver guide, drop a comment, I guess. Probably in the pipeline. If a lot of people say something, I'll probably do it sooner. But you know, it's there if you want to do it. The thing though is that this has always been better than Felskard, right? This is the best Felskard sim, 1.473 million to 1.512 million for Aldrachi. And you're probably wondering, why aren't we using it? Well, I'm gonna get to that. First off though, I do want to show the buffs. So this is the new sim, 1.58 million, up from 1.52. So you can see here, Soul Scar and Reaver's Glaive, a lot larger breakdown overall. Pretty sizable increase there. Wounded Quarry up to 2.8%, Warblade's Hunger up to 2.4%. So pretty big buffs, honestly, to those abilities, which is good. Honestly, the more they move the damage from this tree away from Thrill of the Fight and Reaver's Mark uptime, the better this tree is going to have a chance of even being used. Now, personally, I don't find it very fun. I don't think Felskard's anything to write home about either, but Aldrachi Reaver is like just not really the most fun build ever. It's very uptime focused and stuff like that. But this is the new one. It's almost 100k over Felskard, but you're not going to play it. Now there's a few reasons for that. Now the big reason why you're going to play Felskard over everything else is that this is so downtime reliant. All of your damage comes in the form of Death Sweep, Annihilation, and Demon Surge, right? So that's just during your meta windows, just during your I-Beam windows. Now, Burning Blade is like, you know, a lot of your damage as well, which requires you to stay up on your target. But because so much of your damage is front-loaded into those burst windows, you're actually pretty resistant to downtime, right? I-Beam, Essence Break, Full Devastation, Death Sweep, Annihilation, Demon Surge are all sources of damage that happen only like once every 40 seconds, or I guess once every 2 minutes, more so with your big cleave button from meta, right? So those are things that happen like pretty infrequently. I mean, like 40 seconds isn't like crazy, but about once a minute, and that accounts for a large portion of your damage. Look over at the other one here. Yeah, you have Annihilation, you have Death Sweep. Those are up all the time because you're playing a Cycle of Hatred and Shattered Destiny build. Every single one of these Aldrachi Reaver builds suffer so heavily from downtime. We did some sims. I don't remember what the sims say anymore. It was a long time ago now. But even like 1 missed GCD a second is a pretty sizable loss to basically every sim, especially to Cycle of Hatred and Shadow Destiny sims. But even so, like Aldrachi Reaver is just so uptime reliant. It's just not really realistic to use this in any real boss fight, because like you get one mechanic, you're forced off right away. Felskard's gonna be better. It just loses so much for any realistic downtime. Reason for that, of course, you have Cycle of Hatred and Shadow Destiny. Both of these buttons, both of these abilities require you to basically be on your target at all times, just smacking, right? You want to use Chaos Strike to reduce the duration of I-Beam and also extend your demon form, so a natural synergy there. But also you're using Chaos Strike to just get more Soul Fragments, which give you more Art of the Glaives, which in turn give you more Soul Fragments, which give you higher uptime on Thrill of the Fight and higher uptime of Reaver's Mark and more Art of the Glaives. So it's a really cyclical thing where you're on your target, you're getting benefits from Cycle of Hatred, you're getting benefits from Shadow Destiny, you're getting more Soul Fragments, which is more Fury, which is more Chaos Strikes, which is more Soul Fragments, but also higher Reaver's Mark uptime, which is more damage, more Soul Fragments, higher Thrill of the Fight uptime, which again, more damage, more attack speed, and then more Art of the Glaive, which again, Art of the Glaive is just damage. So there's this cycle here that where when you're on your boss, you're just hitting Chaos Strike as much as you can, you're hitting those buttons, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, whatever your Chaos Strike button is, and you're getting a ton of a feedback loop going. The issue is once you fall off that feedback loop. Now you do have ways of getting back on it with like Sizzle of Spite and the Hunt, but if those aren't available, you're just shit out of luck, right? So that's kind of what happens when you leave the boss, right? All of your damage falls off the face of the earth because you can't maintain your Reaver's Mark, you can't maintain your Thrill of the Fight, you're losing value from Cycle of Hatred, you're losing value from Shadow Destiny, you're not generating as many Soul Fragments, you're losing value on Art of the Glaive. Melees in general have downtime issues, right? If you lose uptime, you're losing damage. But something like this, it's so uptime reliant, loses it way harder than something like Felskard, which is going to just be much more resistant. Now, on top of that, we go back and look at this build here. There's next to no cleave in this build. Like none at all. You have no inertia, no burst windows, no immolation aura. I don't even have any means necessary. Where this build over here has a lot of cleave, mostly because of Demon Surge. Demon Surge is a crazy cleave button. Now, you also have, you know, just a little bit more because your I-Beams deal like a solid amount of damage. Like your Essence Spray, your immolation auras are slightly empowered. But a lot of your cleave is going to be Demon Surge. And in this raid, a lot of the bosses are cleave focused. So we're here on Warcraft logs looking at Mythic Parses now. Just to show you on the first boss, every single person in the top 100 is Felskard, right? Reason for this, again, this boss has a ton of adds. They spawn adds to hit on. So this is Ulgrax. Look at Bloodbound Horror. It's gonna be probably a similar thing where every single person is Felskard, because again, this boss has adds. And as soon as there's adds or any downtime or really anything that causes you to get off boss or hitting multiple targets, then you want to be Felskard because you want those extra damage to the adds. Sikran, I actually haven't looked at. Let's see if anyone's playing Aldrachi Reaver on Sikran. Oh, they're not. Reason for that, this boss has downtime, right? If you go out with the statues that you make, boss has downtime, you're gonna lose a lot of value from Aldrachi Reaver. Also, people just aren't really playing it. 0% is kind of crazy in the top 100, so there's not really any value to playing it there. Again, we keep going, we look into something like Rashanan. It's going to be all Felskard again because so much downtime. The boss literally flies away. Every time the boss is gone, every time you're off boss hitting something else, Felskard gains so much more value over Aldrachi Reaver. Now, Ovanax, you're going to play Felskard because it's a burst AoE fight, so that doesn't really count. I don't know how many Nexus Princess Kaibeza parses there are. Okay, there's actually a good amount now. We can look. Even on this is probably the best boss for Aldrachi Reaver. It is pretty reasonable uptime on single target, and even then, it's not really being played with Aldrachi Reaver, right? So basically, it's not really, it's like a non-starter. The problem with Aldrachi Reaver isn't its damage. The problem is its profile. The problem is, I mean, its playstyle also sucks, but mostly its profile. Mostly just the profile of Felskard is just so much better. And people just kind of hate Aldrachi Reaver. So yeah, buffs are cool and whatever. If you want to play it, you can. But without a full rework, this shit's not going to get played. It's just so bad. But that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see like an Aldrachi Reaver guide, I guess let me know. Probably do one eventually. But if you want to see one, maybe comment and I'll do it sooner. I don't know. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time. Have a good weekend. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving weekend. And peace.